Thanks for your support as a channel member, Ole Gunnar Kvam. It is the biggest day in the non-league footballing calendar once again. It's the second time in this series I've done this same intro. But today, the FA Cup first round takes on a whole new personal meeting because we're facing Northampton, my arch nemesis from real life. So, we're going to need at least 2,000 likes to guarantee victory over Northampton. Don't wait to see the result. We need the likes in advance because then the power of the likes will allow us to beat Northampton. I'm fairly confident that's how it works. Regardless, thanks for the ongoing support on this series. Hello and welcome to part 14 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that FA Cup first round game against Northampton. We're also playing away against Chelmsford in the league. Since you were last with me, we've only played that one game against Barrow, and we drew it. It wasn't good, really. We've won lots of... Have we won all of our home games up until that point? We'd won every home game up until that point, and we've ruined our record now. We are still top of the league, but only by 3 points now. It's very, very disappointing. But we're gonna make up for that disappointment by defeating Northampton in the FA Cup first round. Just to check how Northampton are getting on this season, they are third in League Two, managed by Jonathan Woodgate. Well, there you go. And this is the team that we're going to be putting out there to face them. We've got Watkins in goal, a back three of Smith, Odemeo and Bernard, Fleming and Clark as the wing-backs, Payne and Parsons in midfield, McAneff behind Falemi and Kelman up front. And we have the luxury of 7 substitutes in the FA Cup as well. It's there's not going to be room for me to sit on the bench with all these players knocking about the place. Frankly, it's ridiculous. Do non-league teams even have benches big enough for 7 substitutes? Let's get into the game. We are gonna... Is there a I don't like this lot in real life? Can we beat them, please? We're huge underdogs. There's no pressure. That pretty much is what I was trying to say. So let's go out there, do that. And while the match gets up and running, just a little reminder that I did start a new series on the channel this morning. It's my Advent series, Window Wonderland. If you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. Have we... What? How? That happened from... That shouldn't count. I was in the middle of doing an ad, and then a goal just appeared from nowhere with no highlight. This isn't okay. Now no one's going to watch my new series. Watkins beaten at the near post without really putting up any fight at all. We're going to get a reality check today, aren't we? Parsons with the in-swinger. He was looking for Payne, which is a weird way for us to do a free kick because normally Payne's the one taking them, not trying to get on the end of them. But Northampton trying to hit us on the counter-attack from that very same move. And, yeah, they're a lot better than we are, aren't they? There's clearly... I mean, remember this time last year, was it Maidenhead we played, who were up in the playoff positions in this league that we're in now, in the National League, while we were sort of upper mid-table in the National League North at this time last year. Obviously, we went on to win that league, so we were good for that level. But this year, we're already top of the National League. The gap between us and Northampton this year is probably smaller than the gap between us and Maidenhead last year. But clearly, there's a bigger step up between the National League and League Two. Which is obviously a pretty good reason to make sure we don't get promoted this year, because, of course, promotion this year could be a disaster in many ways because, as you can see, the step-up would be horrific, but also the club would have to go full-time. We're currently a part-time club, and I don't think we can afford to be full-time because we don't have enough fans. They're absolutely rampant all over us, and we've not even had a shot yet. This is... I said it would be a reality check. Goodness me, is it... I can only assume that we haven't had 2,000 likes on the video, and that's why this is happening. I warned you. I was very clear about what we needed, and now it seems like it hasn't happened, and now look what you've done. If you haven't liked it yet, go like it now. It might bring a comeback on, maybe. Right, Bernard, who did play for Manchester United in Europe this week, but did score an own goal, from what I hear. So, you know, you got to take the rough with the smooth. He was getting himself match fit before joining up with Kings Lynn. He has been a superstar for us down in non-league, but clearly at this level, along with the rest of the squad, we haven't really got a lot of Football League standard players yet. We've had 57% of the possession, which is lovely. We've done absolutely nothing with it, which is less lovely. The only thing we can hope for now is that Northampton just kind of give up. They're frustrated already. If we can add some complacency to their frustration and get it right ourselves in this second half, there's always a chance at 2-0 down. Let's... I do expect a better shot. I've said it calmly. I've tried to do the... I'm not angry, I'm disappointed team talk, because it is disappointing to see us not even have a shot. Clark is playing really poorly at right wing back, so I think we might have to look to change that. We've talked about this in the last couple of episodes, but just protecting our younger players when they have a terrible game. Don't leave them on there to get worse and worse and worse. We've got 3,500 fans in the ground today. This is clearly something that the locals were excited for, and we've not turned up at all. This is the sort of thing that can change a season if it gets too bad. Yeah, even that's now recommending take off Clark. So let's get Clark off. He's having a terrible day. Davis can come on and play at right wing back, and we're just protecting Clark there. We're not pulling him off the pitch because he's been terrible. That's exactly what we're doing. But it's not a punishment. It's for his own good. Get him off there so that he doesn't have to put up with it anymore. Right. As I was saying before we were so rudely interrupted early on, new series started on the channel this morning, Window Wonderland. It's something very different to anything I've done before. It's an Advent series, so just going to be 24 episodes long, leading all the way up to Christmas Eve, 11 a.m. every day. And it's going to be 24 different clubs across the 24 days, 24 transfer windows, hence Window Wonderland. So I'm picking 24 clubs from around the world. I've not picked them all yet. I've got like this first half dozen sorted, but viewers, you lot, people watching this, or specifically that, are going to let me know other clubs that you'd like me to manage. And I'll do the first transfer window and then holiday the rest of the season to see how my signings get on. And Archie Davis has come on the pitch and made an immediate impact. Scored his second goal of the season with probably his second touch of the match. See, that change at right wing back? It was a game changer. Payne does well to intercept there. Falemi plays it to Parsons. Parsons plays Davis in, and I think that's our first shot of the match, and we've scored with it. It was our first shot, and as such, our first shot on target, and led to our first goal. So we've got a route back in now, boys and girls. If we can score again here, there's an upset on. McAneff can't get hold of it, but Fleming immediately returns it to Payne. Parsons from the edge of the area shoots just over. So we've now lost our 100% shots to goals ratio, which personally I was enjoying, but we've got the opportunity to make a couple more changes here. So we're going to bring Adam Marriott on for Kelman. We're going to bring Carter on for McAneff. Attacking changes, and we're going to ask for 10 minutes of passion to go with those changes. If we can grab a goal in the next 5 minutes or so, it makes the last 15 minutes very, very interesting, as Northampton hopefully have assumed hour in, 3-0 up. They've not had a shot. Job done. This is the opportunity for us as the little plucky non-league underdogs to fight back into the game. Fleming beats his man. Has he got options? He has. Davis is over this side looking for his second goal of the game. Beats his man, shoots, and it's awkwardly dealt with by the Northampton keeper, who apparently is Bobby Lashley off of the wrestling. Does he play for them in real life? That's weird. Right, Davis. Again, Davis has had a cracking game since he came on. Bernard now plays it forward, looking for Marriott. Marriott actually intercepts it quite well there. Carter, he's got Falemi as an option ahead of him, but tries to go on his own. It ends up not really working. In fact, no, he's beaten his man. He's done brilliantly, Carter, and almost scored a spectacular goal. It was the weirdest mazy dribble you've ever seen, because he kept stopping and letting everyone catch up with him and then kind of walking around them. It was like the ball was glued to him, but it didn't come to anything, which was a shame. But we have been playing very, very well since the changes, really. But I don't think it's going to be enough. We've put on a much better showing in this second half, which is exactly what I asked them to do at half-time. So they've done what was asked of them, but I don't think we've done enough to put up any kind of challenge. Fleming gets the cross in. Falemi nods down to Payne. Fleming again in a crossing position. Payne in space to Falemi. Falemi scores. And all of a sudden, with 5 minutes left maybe, it's Kings Lynn 2, Northampton 3. And there is the outside chance of an upset draw, which would be handy just financially, because I don't know if you saw at the start of the episode, for the first time since I've been here, our bank balance has dropped into the red. And it's on a very, very much on a downward trajectory. So a cup run and the money that goes with it would be really handy. And that's ruined that. They've just immediately woken back up again. They let us have our fun for 20, 25 minutes. Oh, look, Kings Lynn are getting back into the game. We'll see about that. And it's now Kings Lynn 2, Northampton 4. And we're out of the FA Cup, so there goes the cup run. Hopefully, I mean, we've got a decent gate today, so that'll have given us a few quid. Hopefully we get a little bit of prize money for getting knocked out. I don't know how prize money works in the FA Cup. Do you only get it when you win? Or do you get a big lump when you're knocked out? Marriott's in here. Can Marriott grab a goal? It's straight at the aforementioned Bobby Lashley in goal for... if his name is Bobby, I'm baffled. Absolutely baffled. But it looks like this is it. I don't know what's happening. We don't have match-ending highlights anymore, so I guess something is happening here, but it's happening in a really weird, slow way. Are they going to go and grab a fifth? Because that's unnecessary if that's what they're planning. If that's their plot. Davis back to Watkins. Plays it out to Fleming. Is it us who are going to grab a goal? There's seconds left. This was a weird highlight to end the match unless something's going to come from it. Fleming to Fellaini, who's come very deep in the circumstances. Payne, I don't know why this is a highlight. What is... Because we're going to give away a goal? No, apparently we're not. What is going on? Fellaini's in behind now, but is too tired to get there. This has been going on for nearly a minute of real time. What a strange way to end a football match. Right, now we give them the can't fault anyone's performance there, because we did play much better in that second half, which was all I asked of them, and they delivered. So we can't be too upset about it. Do we get a message about money? No. I mean, it's not disastrous yet. This is the problem. Largely because of my director of football. I'm going to completely blame him for bringing James Hoskins in on £550 a week, which is exactly how much we're over our wage budget by. And I've not played him because I'm keeping Watkins in goal. So it's the combination. There's cracks starting to show. Oh, is he planning his exit? No, but that was a bad signing. Let's go and play Chelmsford. There you go. Look, we just broke our record attendance, 3,455. Broke it by over 1,000, by over 35%. And if we have a little look down here, you can see that did actually make a big impact. Playing a Football League club in the FA Cup has cleared like £40,000 worth of the debt that we'd accumulated. So that has been very handy. The other thing I meant to tell you, which I forgot to tell you, is I have signed another new contract. I signed it like 2 weeks ago. Now under contract until the end of next season on a very giddy £800 a week. At this point, I'll probably have bought a second investment property. I'm going to own all of King's Lynn before I leave. This is an incredible turn of events. No change for the Chelmsford game then. I did toy with the idea of bringing Davis in for Clark from the start, but Clark's been one of our best players this season. And in fact, if you take Payne, and Parsons and Fellaini all out of the equation, he's been our best player. But so I think it would be a little bit harsh to penalise him based on one poor performance against a team a division above us. That being said, if you look down at the bench, Davis has also been one of our better players as well. So clearly that side of the pitch, we do all right. But after the shock of what happened to us against Northampton, I would like to think against Chelmsford, we should be able to pick up a victory. If we have a look at the league table, Chelmsford down in 19th place. We're obviously top of the league. Yes, it's an away game, which we have been struggling with, but nobody's told Jordan McAneff that because he's just got his 6th goal of the season with an absolute screamer from the edge of the area. 5 minutes on the clock. Look at the state of this. From the other angle, Payne with the corner. How many of our goals start with that sentence? Smith nods down to McAneff, and he's hit it so hard that it doesn't matter that the keeper gets a hand to it. It's going to make no difference whatsoever. And as much as I've been struggling to find the right strike partner for Fellaini this season, McAneff is just weighing in with enough goals to make up for it from that shadow striker position behind the two. Always makes me think we could just do Fellaini up front with McAneff behind, and that would work. But I don't think now is the time to be fiddling around with the formation when we're top of the league and doing quite well. Payne plays it into Fellaini, back to Payne again to Parsons and Payne. We need players that don't begin with P, or I'm going to need to get a pop filter because that's silly. Fellaini now out to Clark. Clark trying to redeem himself from what happened in the last match. Cross comes in from McAneff, who's there again, and it goes just wide. In addition to the trouble we've got with the schedule view disappearing every time I look at it, I'm getting so fed up with having to move this every time I reload the game. so that it just lines up nicely under there. Why can't it just stay where I put it? That's never been an issue in previous versions of Football Manager. Connor Parsons has just got his first goal of the season. Now, while I'm fiddling with making sure the league table looks pretty, Connor Parsons is more concerned with making sure the league table looks pretty in the probably more important way of the two, and that we stay at the top of it. Kelman with the little knockback to Parsons, who's in a pocket of space. It's a relatively straightforward goal. As straightforward as you can get from outside of the penalty area, but he's not had to find a corner. He's not had to get it off the ground. He had so much space and so much time. He just had to place it and almost pass it into the back of the net against a goalkeeper who was out of position from the original move. So it's a good finish from Parsons, but it's not the screamer that McAneff scored. Clark now, once again, in the spirit of trying to redeem himself, but he's given the ball away there. Parsons wins it back, though. McAneff plays Parsons in again. Those two are up for it today, aren't they? Fleming, lovely control from Fleming, takes it down, tucks it into the back of the net. His fourth of the season, our third of the day. It's the Jake Kenyon goal from last year. Clearly, we're just quite good at left wing backs and getting them into goal scoring positions. But it's 3-0, less than half an hour on the clock, and this is the redemption story, boys and girls. None of us enjoyed what happened to us against Northampton, but we've decided to punish Chelmsford for what Northampton did to us. And as it stands, it would put us 6 points clear at the top of the table. We're not even at the halfway point yet, so all we're really doing is setting ourselves up for having to play the likes of Northampton more often next year. Don't you realise what you're doing, lads? Goodness me, if you don't want more bad experiences, stop winning matches. Clark now, once again, cross comes in for Fleming. Fleming nods it down to Payne. Payne wants to get in on the action now. Gives it back to Fleming, though, and Fleming shoots just over. Chelmsford don't have anything behind that goal other than Gray and houses behind the Gray, which is weird. Especially because they seem to have a turnstile letting fans into behind that goal, but there's no fans there. It's Gray at this end as well. They have nothing behind the goals. And it's almost identical houses. And again, a wall that just stops. That looks like a real road, though. The road looks lovely. This, I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. That road, beautiful work. Whoever designed the road. Explain this to me, though. Why does that wall just stop? Is there supposed to be a stand there? Is that a missing asset? Because it looks really weird. Right, dressing room, halftime team talk. Don't get complacent. Easiest team talk in the world. Get into that second half. We've got some complacent players. I just specifically said don't get complacent. So I think sooner rather than later, we're going to just take off the ones who have ignored my specific instruction. Remove the complacent rascals, because there's no room for complacency here at Kings Lynn. Fleming is in again, but plays it back to Payne. He didn't have as much space to run into as he normally likes. McAneff from the edge of the area again, though, hits the post. He is well up for it today, and we're on 70% possession. Poor old Chelmsford don't know what's hit them. We're playing very, very well. Clark is one of the ones who's complacent, which, after what happened against Northampton, I'm a little bit disappointed in him that he's not working his buttocks off to prove it was a one-off. McAneff is in here again. He has been everywhere today. Forces the save out of the keeper. We win a corner and McAneff's going over to take it himself. Does he realise he's not Alfie Payne? Corner comes in. Kelman is there, heading it almost all the way back to the corner flag. I think he was trying to knock it down for a teammate, but it didn't quite come off the way he would have expected it to. I'm going to make a couple of fairly early substitutions here. Clark, I'm really not happy with. And we're going to take off Falemi as well, because he was also looking complacent, so Marriott can come on for him. Odemeo gets to stay on purely based on the fact I don't have another centre-back on the bench, so I don't really have much choice other than to keep him on. Carter, I think, is going to come on into that midfield for the last 15 minutes or so, though. We're going to bring him on for Payne. Payne looks like he's tiring. It doesn't hurt to give Payne a little bit of a break here and there. It's not as if we need him for these last few minutes. In fact, on that note, let's drop a little bit of praise. I'm trying to stop the complacency. So there's even more complacency. So let's praise them. Praise them into wanting to try harder. There's some logic there. It fired them up. I don't really know why. I think Bernard's just got himself sent off here, hasn't he? In fact, he was already booked and has now got a straight red. So that's going to be a suspension on top of a suspension, potentially, which is not ideal. But luckily, we're well ahead in the match, and we can just drop the wing backs back like that, and we should be okay. Free kick goes straight into the wall twice, and then shot from the edge of the area. Did that hit the post, or was that a save from the keeper? It all happened so quickly, I couldn't keep up with what was going on. We had been getting warnings that Bernard was on a yellow card and we needed to keep an eye on him. But to be fair, he didn't get sent off for a second yellow. It was a straight red for the professional foul, which I think subtext to that is really vicious foul, isn't it? Is that not what professional foul is? It's a 1-match ban. It was a professional foul was harsh. So if Paul Bastock says appeal, then I appeal, which means we now can't fine him. You may choose to fine. He should be fined anyway, but we can appeal. I thought that was how the code of conduct worked. But we have kept our unbeaten run going. We are 6 points clear at the top of the league, and we will be back tomorrow with probably something around Christmassy time. We might do the Christmas fixtures, Stockport and Chorley. In fact, look, we're having Christmas up in the Greater Manchester area. I assume we're staying up there for a few days. There's no point going all the way to Stockport, coming back, and then the next day going all the way back to Chorley. We're gonna book ourselves into a nice hotel around Manchester, have Christmas dinner in the Trafford Centre. I assume it's open, and we'll perhaps go to the National Football Museum between the two matches. We'll make a little trip of it. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.